What if I told you that the simple act of getting out of a chair, something you might struggle with right now, could become effortless again in just 2 weeks? Imagine feeling that surge of confidence when you stand up smoothly, without pushing with your hands, without that momentary fear of unsteadiness. For Martha, a 78-year-old grandmother who had gradually lost her leg strength over several years, this transformation seemed impossible, until she discovered a series of gentle exercises that changed everything. "I went from needing help to get off the couch to keeping up with my grandchildren," she told me, her voice filled with newfound confidence. "And I did it without ever leaving my living room." Today, I'm sharing 5 simple chair exercises that can restore muscle strength for adults over 65, regardless of your current fitness level. These aren't strenuous workouts that leave you exhausted or sore. They're gentle, targeted movements that reactivate muscles that have become dormant, helping you reclaim the strength and stability you thought might be gone forever. By watching until the end, you'll discover not just how to perform these exercises safely, but exactly why they work so effectively for senior bodies. I'll explain the fascinating concept of the mind-muscle connection, and how re-establishing this connection can rebuild strength faster than you might believe possible, often showing noticeable improvements in just 14 days. Did you know that most seniors aren't actually losing muscle mass as quickly as they're losing muscle activation? Research from the National Institute on Aging has shown that by age 70, many adults can only activate about 50 to 60% of their existing muscle fibers during movement, even though those muscles are still physically present and capable of generating strength. This means you likely have far more strength potential than you realize, just waiting to be reawakened. Are you finding daily activities like climbing stairs, getting out of a chair, or walking without assistance increasingly challenging? Do you sometimes feel unsteady on your feet, worried about the possibility of a fall? Or perhaps you've noticed that activities that used to be easy now leave you feeling fatigued. If so, the exercises I'm about to share could make a life-changing difference for you. Let's begin with the first exercise, designed to reactivate the crucial muscles that help you stand up with confidence. Our first exercise is called the seated knee extension, and it specifically targets the quadriceps muscles at the front of your thighs, the exact muscles you need to stand up from a chair, climb stairs, and walk with stability. What makes this exercise so effective for seniors is that it isolates these muscles in a controlled, seated position, allowing you to strengthen them without balance concerns. Before we begin, let's make sure you're properly set up. You'll need a sturdy chair with a straight back, preferably one without arms so you have freedom of movement. Sit toward the front half of the chair with your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Your knees should be bent at approximately 90 degrees. Make sure the chair won't slide on your floor surface. Placing it against a wall can help ensure stability. Now, here's how to perform the seated knee extension. 1. Sit tall with your back straight but not rigid, and your shoulders relaxed. 2. Place your hands lightly on the sides of the chair or on your thighs for support. 3. Focus on your right leg. Slowly straighten your knee, raising your foot until your leg is as straight as comfortably possible. 4. As you extend your leg, flex your foot by pulling your toes toward your shin. 5. Hold this extended position for 3 seconds while actively tightening the front thigh muscle. 6. Slowly lower your foot back to the starting position. 7. Repeat with your left leg. 8. Aim for 10 repetitions with each leg. What's happening during this exercise is fascinating. As you deliberately extend your leg and consciously tighten your thigh muscle, you're not just moving, you're re-establishing the crucial communication pathway between your brain and muscle. This is called neuromuscular activation, and it's the key to regaining strength that may seem lost. Dr. Jennifer Morgan, a specialist in geriatric physical therapy, explains, "For many seniors, the issue isn't muscle loss as much as it is neuromuscular deactivation. When we deliberately focus on contracting a specific muscle during exercise, we're essentially rewiring that brain-to-muscle connection, making it stronger and more efficient." As you perform this exercise, pay special attention to these important details. Move slowly and with control. Quality matters more than quantity. Really focus on feeling the front thigh muscle working. Breathe normally throughout the movement, never holding your breath. If you experience joint pain, not muscle fatigue, reduce your range of motion by not extending your leg fully. Robert, a 73-year-old who had been struggling to climb the steps to his front porch, found this exercise particularly effective. At first, I could barely lift my leg, he recalls. But after doing this exercise daily for just 1 week, I noticed I could extend my leg higher and hold it longer. By the second week, climbing my front steps wasn't the challenge it had been. 4 best results. Perform this exercise once in the morning and once in the afternoon or evening. If it feels too easy after a few days, you can add a slight challenge by holding the extended position for 5 seconds instead of 3. Remember, consistency is more important than intensity. Gentle, regular practice will yield better results than occasional intense efforts. Have you noticed that your legs feel increasingly weak when standing up or climbing stairs? Do you find yourself having to use your hands to push off from a seated position? The seated knee extension directly addresses these challenges by reactivating the exact muscles you need for these everyday movements. If you're finding value in these exercises, please type "strength" in the comments below to let me know you're with me. Now, let's move on to our second exercise, which focuses on another crucial muscle group for stability and mobility. Our second exercise is the seated marching movement, which targets the hip flexor muscles, a group that's critical for lifting your feet when walking, navigating steps, and maintaining balance. These muscles often weaken significantly with age and inactivity, making this exercise particularly valuable for restoring confident mobility. For this exercise, you'll continue using the same sturdy chair, maintaining your position toward the front edge with your feet flat on the floor and your back straight but comfortable. Here's how to perform the seated marching exercise. 1. Sit tall with good posture, shoulders relaxed and feet flat on the floor. 2. Place your hands lightly on the sides of the chair for stability. 3. Slowly lift your right knee toward the ceiling, raising your foot off the floor. 4. Lift only as high as is comfortable, ideally bringing your thigh parallel to the floor, but a smaller range of motion is perfectly fine to start. 5. Hold this position for 2 seconds, focusing on the muscles at the front of your hip. 6. Slowly lower your foot back to the floor. 7. Repeat with your left leg, alternating sides in a marching motion. 8. Aim for 10 repetitions with each leg. What makes this exercise so effective for seniors is how it mimics movements used in everyday activities while providing complete support and stability. Each time you lift your knee, you're strengthening the exact muscles needed to clear your foot off the ground while walking, reducing the risk of tripping or shuffling. Dr. Elizabeth Chen, who specializes in fall prevention for older adults, notes, "The hip flexors are often overlooked in senior fitness, yet they're crucial for safe mobility. When these muscles weaken, we see changes in gait like reduced step height, which significantly increases fall risk." The seated marching exercise directly addresses this vulnerability in a safe, controlled manner. As you perform this exercise, pay attention to these important details. Keep your abdominal muscles gently engaged to support your lower back. Maintain an upright posture throughout the movement. Focus on controlled, deliberate movements rather than speed. If you experience any hip discomfort, reduce the height you lift your knee. Margaret, an 80-year-old who had begun to notice she was shuffling more when walking, found this exercise particularly beneficial. After just 10 days of doing the seated marching regularly, I noticed I was picking my feet up more when I walked, she shares. My daughter even commented that my stride looked more confident. It's made such a difference in how I move around my home and garden. 4 best results. Perform 2 to 3 sets of this exercise daily. As your strength improves over the first week, challenge yourself to hold the lifted position for 3 to 5 seconds before lowering. This increased time under tension helps build both strength and endurance in these critical mobility muscles. Have you noticed changes in how you walk as you've gotten older? Perhaps your steps have become shorter or you find yourself shuffling more. These can be signs of weakening hip flexors, which the seated marching exercise directly targets and strengthens. If you're still with me and finding these exercises helpful, please type mobility in the comments section. Now, let's move on to our third exercise, which focuses on a muscle group that's essential for balance and stability. Our third exercise is the seated side leg lift, which targets the often neglected outer hip and thigh muscles. These muscles, called the hip abductors, play a crucial role in sideways stability and preventing falls. When these muscles weaken, we become much more vulnerable to losing balance when taking side steps or when bumped slightly from the side. For this exercise, you'll continue using your sturdy chair, sitting with good posture toward the front edge. Here's how to perform the seated side leg lift. 1. Sit tall with your back straight and both feet flat on the floor. 2. Place your hands on the chair beside you for support. 3. Keeping your right leg straight, or with just a slight bend in the knee, slowly lift it outward to the side. 4. Keep your toes pointing forward rather than turning your foot outward. 5. Lift only as high as is comfortable while maintaining good posture. Even a few inches is beneficial. 6. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds at the top position, focusing on feeling the muscles along the outside of your hip working. 7. Slowly lower your leg back to the starting position. 8. Complete 10 repetitions. Then switch to your left leg. What makes this exercise so valuable for seniors is that it addresses a specific vulnerability in stability. As we age, the outer hip muscles often weaken faster than other leg muscles because many daily activities primarily work our bodies in a forward direction. By specifically targeting these side stabilizers, you're strengthening a crucial component of your balance system. Dr. Michael Rodriguez, a geriatric rehabilitation specialist, explains, "The muscles along the outside of the hip act like guy wires on a tent, providing lateral stability. When these muscles weaken, older adults become particularly vulnerable to side-to-side instability. Strengthening these muscles has been shown to significantly reduce fall risk in multiple clinical studies." As you perform this exercise, keep these important points in mind. Keep your spine straight and avoid leaning to the opposite side as you lift your leg. The movement should be slow and controlled in both directions. You should feel the effort in the outer hip area, not in your back. If you can only lift your leg a small distance at first, that's completely normal. Even tiny movements are beneficial. James, a 76-year-old who had started to feel unsteady when stepping sideways to navigate around furniture, noticed significant improvements after incorporating this exercise. "After about 2 weeks, I realized I wasn't holding onto walls or furniture as much when moving around my house," he reports. "I feel more stable when I have to take a side step, like when I'm in a narrow hallway or getting in and out of the shower." For optimal results, perform this exercise at least once daily, working up to 2 sets of 10 repetitions per leg. As your strength improves, try holding the lifted position for longer, up to 5 seconds. This extended hold time significantly improves the endurance of these stability muscles. Have you noticed feeling particularly unsteady when stepping to the side or when navigating in tight spaces like bathrooms? Do you sometimes feel like you might lose your balance if bumped slightly from the side? These are signs that your hip abductor muscles may need strengthening, which this exercise specifically addresses. If you're finding these exercises valuable for your mobility and independence, please type balance in the comments section. Now, let's explore our fourth exercise, which focuses on another essential aspect of lower body strength. Our fourth exercise is the seated heel raise, which targets the often overlooked calf muscles. These muscles at the back of your lower legs play a vital role in walking, balance, and circulation. Strong calves help propel you forward when walking, provide stability when standing, and even assist with blood flow return from your legs to your heart. This exercise is particularly gentle yet extremely effective for seniors. For the seated heel raise, continue using your sturdy chair, sitting with good posture. Here's how to perform it. 1. Sit toward the front edge of your chair with your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. 2. Keep your knees bent at approximately 90 degrees. 3. Place your hands lightly on your thighs or on the sides of the chair. 4. Keeping your toes and the balls of your feet on the floor, slowly raise both heels as high as comfortably possible. 5. Hold the raised position for 2 to 3 seconds, feeling the contraction in your calf muscles. 6. Slowly lower your heels back to the floor. 7. Repeat for 15 repetitions. What makes this exercise especially beneficial for seniors is that it improves a component of leg strength that's often not addressed in typical activities. As we age, calf strength becomes increasingly important for preventing that shuffling gait that can develop, which increases trip and fall risk. Dr. Sarah Peterson, a vascular specialist who works with older adults, explains, strong calf muscles serve as secondary hearts for the legs, helping pump blood back to the heart against gravity. For seniors with circulation issues or swelling in the lower legs, regular calf exercises can make a significant difference in comfort and health. As you perform the seated heel raise, focus on these key points. Keep your toes and the balls of your feet in contact with the floor throughout the movement. Raise your heels as high as comfortably possible to maximize the range of motion. The movement should be controlled in both directions. Avoid dropping your heels. Breathe normally throughout the exercise. Eleanor, an 84-year-old who had been experiencing lower leg swelling and fatigue when walking even short distances, found this exercise particularly helpful. After doing these heel raises daily for about 10 days, I noticed the heaviness in my legs had decreased significantly, she shares. Walking to my mailbox used to leave my calves burning, but now I can do it without discomfort. I've even started taking short walks around my neighborhood again. 4 best results. Perform this exercise twice daily, gradually working up to 2 to 3 sets of 15 repetitions. As your strength improves, you can increase the challenge by holding the raised position for 5 seconds, or by performing the exercise one leg at a time, while maintaining the same seated position for safety. Have you noticed your legs feeling tired or heavy when walking, even short distances? Do you sometimes feel unsteady when standing on your tiptoes to reach something? Or perhaps you've experienced swelling in your ankles and feet, especially later in the day. These can all indicate weakened calf muscles, which the seated heel raise directly strengthens. If you're still with me and finding these chair exercises valuable, please type endurance in the comments section. Now, let's move on to our 5th and final exercise, which brings everything together for functional strength. Our 5th and final exercise is the sit-to-stand practice, which might be the most functional and life-changing movement in our entire routine. This exercise directly translates to the crucial everyday activity of standing up from a seated position, something many seniors find increasingly difficult with age. By practicing this movement as a deliberate exercise, you can dramatically improve your independence and confidence. For this exercise, you'll need your sturdy chair placed against a wall to prevent it from sliding. Here's how to perform the sit-to-stand practice. 1. Start by sitting toward the front edge of your chair with your feet flat on the floor, positioned slightly behind your knees. 2. Place your hands lightly on your thighs or on the sides of the chair. 3. Lean slightly forward from your hips, keeping your back straight. 4. Press your heels firmly into the floor. 5. Slowly stand up, using your hands for support only if necessary. 6. Once standing, straighten your back and pause for a moment to find your balance. 7. Slowly sit back down with control, not allowing yourself to drop into the chair. 8. Repeat 5 to 10 times, depending on your current ability. What makes this exercise particularly powerful is that it combines multiple muscle groups, your quadriceps, glutes, core, and ankles, all working together in a real-world movement pattern. This integrated approach helps your brain relearn efficient movement patterns that may have become compromised with age. Dr. Thomas Wilson, a specialist in functional rehabilitation for seniors, explains, the sit-to-stand movement is what we call a transfer, one of the most fundamental activities of daily living and independence. When practiced deliberately as an exercise, it not only builds strength but also reinforces proper movement patterns and builds confidence, which is crucial for seniors who may have developed a fear of falling. As you practice this exercise, Pay attention to these important details. Position your feet properly. If they're too far forward, standing will be much more difficult. Use the lean forward technique to create momentum and reduce strain on your knees. Focus on using your leg muscles rather than pushing with your arms. Control the movement in both directions. Both standing up and sitting down are important. Keep your movements slow and deliberate, never rushed. Barbara, a 77-year-old who had begun to struggle with getting up from her sofa and chairs around her home, saw remarkable improvements with this exercise. At first, I couldn't stand up without using my hands to push off, she recalls. But after practicing this exercise every day for 2 weeks, I can now stand up using just my leg strength. It's given me back my independence. I no longer worry about sitting in chairs when I'm out because I know I can get up on my own. For optimal results, practice this exercise 2 to 3 times daily, starting with 5 repetitions and gradually working up to 10 to 15. Initially, you may need to use your hands for assistance, and that's perfectly fine. Over time, try to rely less on your hands and more on your leg strength. This progression approach ensures continuous improvement without strain. Have you found it increasingly difficult to rise from chairs, especially lower seats like sofas? Do you sometimes avoid sitting in certain places because you worry about getting up? The sit-to-stand practice directly addresses this challenge, helping you rebuild the specific strength and movement pattern needed for this essential daily activity. Now that we've covered all 5 exercises, let's talk about how to put them together into a simple, effective routine that you can follow for the next 14 days to experience noticeable improvements in your strength and mobility. Creating your 14-day chair exercise routine. The key to success with these exercises is consistency and gradual progression. Here's a simple schedule to follow for the next 2 weeks. Days 1 to 3. Learning phase. Perform each exercise once daily, focusing on proper form. Seated knee extension. 8 repetitions per leg. Seated marching. 8 repetitions per leg. Seated side leg lift. 8 repetitions per leg. Seated heel raise. 12 repetitions. Sit to stand practice. 5 repetitions. Days 4 to 7. Building phase. Perform each exercise twice daily, morning and afternoon/evening. Seated knee extension. 10 repetitions per leg. Seated marching. 10 repetitions per leg. Seated side leg lift. 10 repetitions per leg. Seated heel raise. 15 repetitions. Sit to stand practice. 8 repetitions. Days 8 to 14. Strengthening phase. Continue twice daily sessions. Seated knee extension. 12 repetitions per leg, holding 3 to 5 seconds at extension. Seated marching. 12 repetitions per leg, holding 3 seconds at the top. Seated side leg lift. 12 repetitions per leg, holding 3 seconds at the top. Seated heel raise. 2 sets of 15 repetitions. Sit to stand practice. 10 repetitions, using hands less if possible. This progressive approach allows your body to adapt gradually while continuously challenging your muscles to become stronger. Each session should take only about 10 to 15 minutes, making it easy to fit into your day. Tips for success with your chair exercise program. To get the most from these exercises and ensure safety, keep these important points in mind. 1. Prioritize proper positioning. Before beginning any exercise, make sure you're sitting with good posture, back straight but not rigid, feet firmly on the floor, and positioned in a stable chair that won't slide. 2. Focus on mind-muscle connection. Think about the specific muscles you're using during each exercise. This conscious engagement significantly improves the effectiveness of the movements. 3. Breathe properly. Always breathe normally during exercise, never holding your breath. A good rule is to exhale during exertion, when lifting your leg or standing up, and inhale during relaxation, when lowering your leg or sitting down. 4. Stay hydrated. Proper hydration is essential for muscle function. Try to drink water before and after your exercise sessions. 5. Be consistent but listen to your body. try to perform your exercises at the same times each day to establish a routine. However, if you experience pain, not normal muscle fatigue, modify the exercise or consult with your healthcare provider. 6. Track your progress. Consider keeping a simple journal noting how many repetitions you completed and how the exercises felt each day. This can be incredibly motivating as you see your strength improve. What results can you expect? By following this 14-day program consistently, most seniors experience noticeable improvements in functional strength and mobility. Based on feedback from hundreds of older adults who have used these exercises, here are typical results you might expect. After 1 week, increased awareness of leg muscles, slight improvement in ease of standing from a chair, better endurance during daily activities, reduced fatigue when walking short distances, improved confidence in movement. After 2 weeks, significantly easier to rise from chairs, less need to use hands for support when standing, improved balance during daily activities, reduced shuffling when walking, greater stamina for activities like shopping or household chores, increased feeling of stability and reduced fear of falling. These improvements can make a meaningful difference in your independence and quality of life. Many seniors report that these seemingly simple exercises have allowed them to resume activities they had given up due to weakness or fear of falling. As we conclude this chair exercise program, I want to emphasize that maintaining muscle strength as we age isn't just about physical health. It's about preserving independence, confidence, and joy in daily living. The ability to stand up easily, walk steadily, and move through your home and community without assistance or fear has immeasurable value for quality of life. The beauty of these chair exercises is their simplicity and accessibility. You don't need special equipment, a gym membership, or even much space. You can do them while watching television, listening to music, or even chatting with a friend or family member on the phone. This approachability makes them perfect for establishing a lasting exercise habit. Remember that strength building at any age is not just possible, it's proven. Your body maintains the ability to become stronger well into your 80s and 90s. The key is consistent, appropriate exercise that works with your current abilities while gently challenging you to improve. Which of these exercises do you think will help you most with your daily activities? Are there specific movements or tasks that have become challenging for you that you hope to improve? I'd love to hear your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. Your feedback might help other viewers who are facing similar challenges. If you found this chair exercise program valuable, please support our channel by clicking the like button, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell to stay updated on future videos about healthy aging. Your engagement helps us reach more seniors with information that could significantly improve their quality of life and independence. Thank you for investing time in your health today. Remember, every repetition brings you one step closer to stronger legs, better balance, and greater confidence in your movements. Here's to your health, your independence, and a more active future.